Funko presents Pop Talk Live from Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con with our guest, Simu Liu.
Hall H. Is this on? Is this on? Can you guys hear me? Hall H, I have returned. And let me just say, you guys are even better than I remember. This is such an incredible feeling. I am home right now, so thank you guys for bringing me over. A lot of fond memories at Hall H.
From Shang-Chi to Barbie. It's just usually it's the character arc usually.
Yeah. I'm all about range. I'm all about keeping the audience guessing and making unpredictable choices. So I went from being an action figure to an action figure. Yeah. It's really different.
It's good. We always ask it, what do you collect?
Yeah, look, growing up, I think I was like most kids my age. I collected a lot of trading cards. I was a big Pokemon fan. Big Magic the Gathering. Anybody from Magic the Gathering? That's still kicking, right? That's incredible. The very first booster pack I ever picked up, I remember it was like $3.99 at like a local comic book shop, and the very first Pokemon booster pack I ever opened up was a first edition Blastoise holographic. And of course, I had no idea how much it was worth at the time, so I promptly traded that away like 2 weeks later for I don't even remember what, but that card was worth so much money today, and it happened. Yeah.
So I read you're an accountant before you, so most of us have never had access to an accountant.
Why would you cheer for that?
I mean,
an accountant? Oh, lovely.
I was just wondering, I mean, since we have you here and you probably know what you're talking about, is there any way we can deduct any of the things we buy? They're like pop culture related. Is there any kind of advice you'd love to give us that won't get us in trouble by the IRS by just deducting certain elements of our collecting hobbies?
Right. Well, okay. Let me just start. Okay. If you have your own LLC or your own sole proprietorship, that's very helpful, and you can basically make that company anything you want and then deduct. You can be very flexible about what you deduct on your taxes, guys. So, for example, for me, the clothes that I buy, that's an advertising expense. Funkos, collectibles, that is a marketing expenditure of some sort. Get creative, guys. Taxes were meant to be. I hope nobody from the IRS is here. Guys, I'm not even an American citizen. You can't come after me. What is it called? Diplomatic immunity. I'm all good.
It's a lot of people getting big tax returns next year. It's going to be awesome. Simu really helped us with our taxes. Yeah. All right. So I know you do your own stunts. So obviously you work out?
Do you guys want to see a stunt?
Yeah.
Let me just try this floor out real quick. All right. This is either going to go really well or really terribly, but let's figure it out.
You need a spotter?
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Still alive.
Holy, that's the first
time
that's
gotta be the first time in Hall H. I mean,
you never know with the shoes. There's not a lot of grip on these babies, but
wow.
Tell everybody what you saw here today.
That could have went so wrong. We would have had a special edition pop with broken toe.
Did I just perform my way to my another Funko Pop?
Yes.
Excellent.
Think so.
Wow. I don't know how to even. I lost.
Make sure you get the little frosted tips on the edges of my hair, please.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I do some stunts. I do some 1 or 2 stunts.
All right. You got a lot of fans here from Kim's Convenience, right? So that's got to be an upcoming pop for you as well. So talk about the show, talk about the message of the show, and how excited you are to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, oh my, Kim's Convenience that show gave me absolutely everything. And when we started out, I mean, we really were like, we were the Thomas the Tank Engine of TV shows. We were just the little show that could. I mean, we were, you know, we defied pretty much all expectations that were put on us. We were originally, you know, licensed and funded by the Canadian Broadcast Corporation. We were meant to be this little tiny show in Canada, and with no bankable stars, no known names or anything like that. It was just, you know, our family, you know, Appa, Amma, Jung, Janet, Kimchi, and Shannon, and what started as this little tiny show that was greenlit for one season became 5 seasons, 65 episodes, and was eventually picked up by Netflix all around the world. And so having families come up to, you know, myself, and I know from the other cast members too, you know, the people that come up to us are oftentimes families, and they oftentimes watch the show with their parents, with their sons, with their daughters, and it's just such a special feeling to be able to play a small role in their families in some way. And I would say, you know, the Marvel fandom is incredible. It's given me just an incredible life, and I've been on such an incredible journey since. But the Kim's Convenience fans, I think, always will have a special place in my heart and in all of our hearts. And just to take a moment real quick, too, to shout out Paul Sun-hyun Lee, who some of you might know from a little show called The Mandalorian now, and is currently filming at the Avatar: The Last Airbender show in Vancouver. But that man is the real deal. That man taught me everything about what it meant to be the #1 on a call sheet, how to take on that role with humility and grace and patience. And you know, it was such a joy to go to work every day because of him and because of everybody on the cast. So we're very, very proud of what we did with that show.
Awesome. That's awesome. What else are you working on?
I'm sorry?
What else are you working on?
Ooh, what can I talk about? Did you guys see the Marvel presentation yesterday? I don't want to jump the gun or anything, but I feel like there might be room for me in a couple of those. Wouldn't you say? I was kind of, I was watching the presentation from basically from Twitter and being like, oh, I'm gonna be busy. I'm gonna be busy the next few years. Oh. But apart from that, I recently published a book called We Were Dreamers, an immigrant superhero origin story. It's, I know, a guy makes one movie and decides to write a memoir about his life. It's but to calm your cynicism a little bit, it's the story of my entire family and how my parents growing up in the 60s and 70s in China, you know, made the decision to cross an ocean and basically build a life in an entirely new country with no idea of the language or the culture, with nothing in their pockets except just hopes and dreams of success and of building a better life, you know? And then, you know, for me, kind of at a very similar point in my life, but 29, 30 years later, I came to Hollywood with a very similar kind of dream. And so, you know, our generations are connected by that pursuit of a dream, of that feeling of looking off into the horizon and setting your sights on something and being willing to sacrifice everything and all things in order to get there. So it is a really beautiful story, if not for me, then for my parents, whom I cherish greatly. So please, if you haven't checked it out already, check it out. And then the last thing I'll say, I'm sorry, I've taken up a lot of time with this question, and I'm probably not supposed to say anything because we're super jumping the gun on it. But there's a video game out there that features, shall we say, an Asian American protagonist that takes place in Hong Kong. That I might be I don't know. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to jump the gun on it. But it's something that I'm really excited to be diving in on.
Nice.
Wow, thanks for sharing that one. That's huge. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Are you ready for rapid fire fun? You ready for the rapid fire fun question?
I mean, I was backstage listening to Rosario's, and I'm just gonna say ahead of time, my answers are not gonna be that good. I was backstage being like, I don't know how I'm gonna follow that. Her answers are her life is just so much more interesting than mine, you guys. But I'm gonna try. I'll do my best.
I'll change them up a little bit.
I appreciate it.
Favorite ride at Disney?
Favorite ride at Disney? The Incredicoaster.
Favorite movie of all time?
Jurassic Park or Star Wars. When I first arrived in Canada, I was 4.5. I didn't speak a single word of English, and so it was really just about the visuals, right? And getting just kind of swept up into these worlds of Star Wars and of dinosaurs that walk the earth. It was just that was incredible, and those movies helped me learn English. I'll never forget that.
Have you been to Universal and seen the new Jurassic update?
Oh yeah, oh absolutely, absolutely. I've been a very avid Jurassic Park fan, somewhat Jurassic World fan as well. No, they're great as well, but nothing quite encapsulates the magic of Spielberg's original. Let's just say that, right? Perfect movie.
If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
God, that's such a hard question. I'm really gonna have to try to imagine myself as a superhero. That seems it's very unlikely. No, if Simu were a superhero, I think the power that I would choose would be the power of flight. Favorite
breakfast cereal growing up?
Definitely one of the deathly unhealthy ones. Do you guys have French Toast Crunch in the U.S.? Yeah, I love French Toast Crunch. Oh my God, so sweet.
First car growing up?
First car I had growing up was it was my parents' 1994 Nissan Maxima. Right when I got my learner's permit, it wasn't even a learner's permit. It was in Ontario, in Canada, we called it a G1, which is basically just the written test. And no, not the G2, just the G1, my friend. So I couldn't legally go on the road. But I took my parents' car out for a joyride when they were gone, and I took the car around the block, and then on my way to park it back on the driveway, I promptly pressed the accelerator instead of the brake and went right into the garage door.
Is it really a joyride in a Nissan Maxima?
Favorite band of all time?
Favorite band of all time? That's good. When I was in 6th grade, the girl that I had a crush on, Jackie D, loved NSYNC. Oh, yeah. And I wanted to date her so bad. So I bought all the NSYNC albums and learned every single song. So even though there are bands and musicians that I feel like I've listened to and maybe had a more personal connection with since then, I will know no band as intimately as I know NSYNC.
Mike, if you don't ask the follow-up question, did it work?
It did not work.
Okay.
It did not work. Jackie D liked Thomas McDonald. Thomas McDonald was, he had frosted tips. He wore Hawaiian shirts and a little chain, and I was just not that cool.
All right. Hey, who was your favorite? Who would you say is your childhood hero or inspiration?
That's a great question. I would say the few times that I saw Asian characters on screen, because you have to realize, like for myself, growing up, and for people who look like me, turning on the TV in the U.S. and in Canada and Western countries, it wasn't always, you didn't always feel represented. In the movies that we watched, like I still enjoyed Star Wars, I loved Jurassic Park, but I in a way, I always never felt like I could participate in those worlds because I just didn't feel represented. And so when I saw, for example, Trini, the very first yellow Power Ranger, that was such an exciting moment. When I saw, the first Jackie Chan and Jet Li movies, that was always such an incredible feeling. And I gotta say, those feelings did did not come nearly often enough, but I always remembered when I saw a face that looked like mine on screen.
Great answer. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, last one here. If you could choose one word to define yourself, what word would that be?
One word to define myself?
That's it, one.
I think it would be perseverance. You guys, I mean, this isn't news to anybody, but I'm not the most handsome guy in the room. I'm not the best martial artist. I'm not the best looking. I'm not the tallest. And all right, guys, all right. No, I'm not fishing for compliments.
I am.
But I did one day, after getting laid off from a job that I hated, give myself the permission to try something different, to try to live life on my own terms. And once I made that decision, I was willing to take any amount of rejection, any amount of discouragement, because I believed that if I just stuck to my guns and I kept trying and I kept improving every single day, that I would one day be given an opportunity of a lifetime. And I didn't know that it was going to be this, but it could have been anything. It could have been Kim's Convenience. It could have been something entirely different. But I knew that if I just kind of stayed the course and continued to work hard and continued to believe in myself, that would happen. And so what I attribute my success to, first of all, a lot of luck, but also just the practice of showing up, of putting yourself out there, and of giving yourself the permission to acknowledge your dreams and to put it out into the world and into existence. I feel like it's just the most important thing, so that's it.
All right, we got the last question.
So we always ask the last thing. I mean, what's it feel like to be represented as a Pop and having fans come up to you and ask you to autograph Pops? What's it like?
It's incredible. I mean, kind of similar to what I was saying before. Like, I didn't have an action figure that looked like me growing up. And now I literally have an action figure that does, in fact, look exactly like me. Which is pretty cool. I don't even think I could kick that high, but I'm so happy that it's been immortalized. No, it's an incredible, incredible feeling. I feel like, you know, for my parents who came to this country, or to Canada over 30 years ago, this is beyond anything that they ever dared to dream in their entire lives. And so, you know, I'm equal parts grateful and excited for what's to come, because, you know, as you saw from the presentation yesterday, I kind of feel like there's going to be some more Funkos. Yep. Maybe different costumes. I don't know. We'll see.
I think somebody in the audience ought to track down his girlfriend or would-be girlfriend back in the day that stood him up and show him the video of him doing a backflip on Hall H, and maybe she changes her mind. So, Simu Liu, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
One more time.
I've got everything out in front of me. I'm gonna, I guess I'm gonna dive in. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we have all these different skin tones, which is really awesome. We've got the head. That's like the most important part.
Heads are important.
Yeah. All right, now she needs pants. She definitely needs pants. If she's athletic, she kind of would have a legging situation going on here. I'm clearly showing how indecisive I am. I'm sorry. You're just going to be the most athletic person.
Okay. I'm excited that you're building me.
You got a very convincing wig that needs to stay on a little bit. So we're going to put a margarita in her hand. Get it in there. There you go. I dropped the margarita. Okay, check it out. Is she or is she not ready to hike Runyon Canyon in this exact moment? There we go. Crushed it.